The author of Genius Test Number 1, Michael Gilbert, Blind Sniper Incorporated, and a completely different name on YouTube that starts with an A and I forget it, I'm sorry. Commented on my Genius Test 1 video, and I've already gone through Genius Test 2, and I didn't miss a question my first time through it, but I didn't record it, and I was supposed to record it, and I didn't record it. The best way to get me to record something, apparently, is, according to my research, the best way for me to record something is when I have a test the next morning. For example, tomorrow morning I have my only hard class, microbiology. The test is tomorrow. Accordingly, this is a tradition that stood the test of time. Carlos! No, that was a terrible joke. Alright, I have 3 lives. This means I can miss 3 questions before I start over. What color is an aircraft's black box? This one's not actually tricky. It's kind of tricky, but it's just a simple fact. Black boxes are actually orange. That attorney is my brother, testified the accountant, but the attorney testified he didn't have a brother. Who's lying? Neither of them, because the attorney was the accountant's sister. I should mention I didn't miss a question here because most of these questions I already know. I've had them before on various other tests or quizzes, so this will be quick. Whoa, I'm about to burp, which would not be pleasant in the microphone. If the Vice President of the United States died, who would be President? It wouldn't change. The President would still be President. How many holes are in a polo t-shirt? There are 4 holes. 2 arms, 1 head, and 1 body. Divide 30 by 1/2, which is 60, and add 10 is 70. What is the next year in which New Year's will precede Christmas? Technically, excuse me, I'm going to choke now. Every year New Year's comes before Christmas. How much dirt can be removed from a hole that is 3 feet deep and 2 feet wide? None, because it's already been taken out. That's why it's a hole. Question mark. I hope you have been keeping up. What question are you on right now? Question 8. How do you spell the name of the capital city of Kentucky? Louisville, Louisville, Louisville? None of them. Capital of Kentucky is Frankfort. A killer is sent to death. Which death sentence should he... Excuse me, I'm going to cough again. I just had a bag of chips with dinner, and I'm choking on the chip. Ah, that's better. Chips are the death of me. A killer is sent to death. Which death sentence should he choose? Strapped to explosives, death by firing squad, or fed to lions that haven't eaten in a year? He should choose strapped to explosives because then the judge is going to throw it out for cruel and unusual punishment. Death by firing squad I don't think is going to get through any state Supreme Court. But fed to lions that haven't eaten in a year, they're dead. Can a man legally marry his widow's sister in California? No, because he's dead. Which way would this bus have to be going forward? This question gave me trouble. And actually, the only reason I got it right was because I guessed. I'll go ahead and just let you read it here. The door is always on the front right side of the bus. Since you can't see the door, it must be heading left. This question might screw over people from other countries where the door is on the opposite side of the bus. The word is haberdashery. Choose the correct spelling of it. I'm going to get this wrong. Yeah. The real question is choose the correct spelling of it, and IT is it, yeah. A haberdashery is a men's clothing store. There is a house in which all the walls face south and a bear walks by. The bear is white because the only way you can have all the walls of a house face south is if you are, if your house is at the North Pole, or if you redefine house to be just a straight wall. Why is it against the law for a man living in North Carolina to be buried in South Carolina? Because you can't, technically, state law? No, it's neither of those. You can't bury someone who's alive. I'm figuring that it's against state law to bury someone who's alive. I'm losing lives here because the first time I played through this, I was doing it without 9 chapters of microbiology swimming in my head. I just finished reading my microbiology textbook, not all of it, the first 9 chapters of it. I started reading it on yesterday. Uh, I had not opened my microbiology textbook because of the other tests I was going to take. I was playing catch up with the books. Three of my classes, well, actually, I shouldn't say three of my classes. Two of my classes use textbooks that are just books. And you can't, well, I can't read part of that book and then read, go off and read the other textbooks, then come back to it and continue. Books, regular books aren't written that way. They're written sort of as a complete narrative. And so I just pounded through those three books the first 2 weeks of school. And then after that, my pharmaceutics test was up, so I read, 150 pages of Ansel's pharmaceutical dosage forms and drug delivery systems. And then my introduction to healthcare delivery test was up, and so I pounded through 160 pages of introduction to healthcare delivery, a primer for pharmacists. And then microbiology, so 160 pages of Schachter's mechanisms of microbial disease. I went to a 3-year school, and I am paying for it. Back to the test. Would it be cheaper for you to take one friend to the movies twice or two friends to the movies at the same time? Two at the same time. Because then you just count yourself as a friend. Mwahaha. What is the maximum number of times a normal sheet of paper can be folded in half by hand? The maximum number of times you can fold a paper in half sequentially is 8. But technically after you fold it in half once, then you're doing fourths and eighths and blah, 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 blah. If Mr. Smith's peacock lays an egg in Mr. Jones's garden, yard, who is renting from Mr. Page, who legally owns the egg? There should be a comma here. If Mr. Smith's peacock lays an egg in Mr. Jones' yard, and Mr. Jones is renting from Mr. Page, who legally owns the egg? No one, because peacocks are boys. Peahens are the females of the pea bird species. How many 0.5 centimeter slices of bread can you cut from a whole bread that's 25 centimeters long? 50. Math again! There are two clocks of different colors. The red clock is broken and doesn't run at all, but the blue clock loses 1 minute every 24 hours. Which clock is more accurate? The red clock. That's right, twice a day. I'm a kind of genius. I missed two questions. 5 more lolcat pictures, 5 newspaper clippings. Let's do the lolcats. Where gravity going? You are to weakest link. Goodbye. I like his face. He reminds me of, what's his name? Turloose from the Aristocats. Even though Turloose was an orange cat. Is hug he likes. Really? I used to do that to my brother all the time. Put him in a really vicious headlock. Now we're hugging. It was like that when I got here. It increases absorbability. But I found it. It's mine. That cat has got some huge eyeballs. Now we got to get through the test real quick. There's an orange box. Neither. Wouldn't change. 4 holes. 70. Next year. 0 feet. I'm on question 8. None of the above. Fed to lions. No, he can't. Going left. None of the above. White bear. Neither of these. 2 friends at the same time. 1 time. Nobody. 50. Red clock. See my ranking. Genius. Newspaper clippings. County to pay $250,000 to advertise lack of funds. We do not have money. And we need to advertise the fact that we do not have money. I'm going to need $250,000. Here you are, sir. One-armed man applauds the kindness of strangers. This is funny, but I can actually clap with one hand. This is clapping with 2 hands. This is clapping with 1 hand. It's not working really well right now. My hand is sweaty. But that's the sound. Army vehicle disappears. An Australian army vehicle worth $74,000 has gone missing after being painted with camouflage. They did a really, really good job. Use tombstone. Perfect for someone named Homer Hendelbergenheisel. Heinzel. One only. Darn! And $15 carpet cleaning. That is cheap. It takes many ingredients to make Burger King great, but the secret ingredient is our people. It's made of people. So that is the genius test number 2. This video is probably not as good or as funny as the first one, but such is the curse of the sequel. And let me pause real quick. Unpause. This question, how many 0.5 centimeter slices of breads can you cut from a whole bread that's 25 centimeters long? Why did I just have such trouble saying centimeters? Centimeters. And the first thing that came to mind when I saw this, math, again, 25 over 1/2 is 50. It made me think of this. Let me turn the volume up.
Maths stands for
Mathematical Antitelhasic Harfatum Septomim. I love that. Oh well, that's the end of this video. I just had to remember that. I was going to make that joke on our first way through here, and then of course we got right here, and so lost out of time. Probably a video tomorrow because I'm going to take my test, and then I'm going to watch 9, and 9 is going to be an awesome movie.